Introducing QTL's new junction box, the Q-MINI-J5. Connect up to 5 wires in the field. It's UL listed and can be used in dry, damp, or wet environments. Each kit comes with the following gaskets. For this video, we'll be using these, the 3-4-5 wire gaskets. Also in each kit, there are 2 sets of number 6 screws. The smaller set uses these nuts. There is also a pair of number 4 size screws, ferrules, your terminal block, VHB tape, and the housing, which comes in white, black, or clear. The back of each housing has a handy wire strip guide. Let's get into it. Here are the 2 wires we're going to connect. This is the fixture with an RGBW strip inside, and this is the power cord with a dongle and a power connection at the end. The first step is to take your wires and twist them up really tight so that the gasket will fit over the wires. Please note that with some wires, you'll be removing the jacket to fit the wires individually through the gasket. Pull the gasket back on the wire. We'll be putting them into place soon. Now that the wires have the gaskets, the next step is to separate the wires. I like to separate them in the same order so that it's easier to match them up when connecting them into the terminal block. The next step is to attach the wires to the terminal block. Take the bottom part of your housing, which has these 2 prongs, and your terminal block. Your terminal block will fit right onto these prongs with these holes here. I find that I need to pick it up to attach the wires, so you'll see me doing that. Get your screwdriver ready with a small flathead bit, and it's go time. Now that the wires are attached, it's always a good idea to test the light. Let's plug it in. All right, so our light works. Here it is with the white lights on and with the white lights off. All right, so now that we know that the light works, it's time to attach the strain release. These are designed to keep the wires in place so that if there's tension on the cords, the wires stay inside the terminal blocks. So pick up the terminal block and shimmy the wires this way and shimmy them this way and try to get the wire closer to the terminal block so that the strain relief can sit over the jacket of the wire. So let's put the gaskets in place. First put the terminal block down and now get the gaskets aligned with the grooves on either side of the housing right there. And okay, that's it. But now the wire, the jacket of the wire is still not far enough in. So if you use one hand, you can keep the gasket in place and push the wire closer to the terminal block. You want to make sure none of the wires slip out of the terminal block at this time. A little bit further. And all the wires are still in, and it's time to attach the strain relief. So here's the first one. These use the smallest number 4 screws. There's 4 of them in each kit. I like to kind of fan it out to the side so that I can see what I'm doing. So here's the first screw. Second screw is always a little bit easier. And here we go on the other side. We're going to do the same thing. Oh, and these strain reliefs, actually, they can be used either way. If you have a thicker wire, you can use it this way. If you have a thinner wire, you can use it so that there's more tension on the wire. So you just flip it the other way. All right, and here's the last screw. Hand adjustment here. And time to test. All right, so that is good. Let's move on to the lid. So take the lid and line it up, flip it over, and you'll see a little lip. That lip attaches to the bottom and clamshells over. So here we go, make sure it's lined up and bring it over and make sure none of the gaskets or neither of the gaskets are adjusted. You should hear a click. And there's the click. All right, so now that we have it closed, we're not done. We need to attach some screws. So if you're going into wood or another substrate, there's provided long number 6 screws that you'd use right here. And if you plan to use the VHB tape, which I plan to do for this demonstration, we're going to use these smaller number 6 screws with the provided nuts. So flip the housing over and try to line up these nuts. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the hardest parts of the installation. This is one method with my finger and not quite. You can use a long sharp object and try to get it into place, or flip it over and try to get it out. It's really not very fun. So put your fingers over them to make sure they don't slide out, and then you just attach your screws. Great. The last 2 screws are the smaller number 4 screws, but not the smallest in your bag. These are provided as a set of screws, whereas the smallest number 4 screws, there are 4 of them. All right, so now your housing's all together and it should be pretty tight. The way that we assembled this is good for dry and damp applications. If you want to use this in a wet application, you would have to install it with silicone inside. And let's check the light. We got RGBW. We have magenta, blue, teal, green, yellow, orange, red. So we have this spectrum. Let's test the white light. We have white light and we are connected. I hope that you find that this is a cool and very convenient product to have in the field. Please contact us for any further questions.